curious minds. Welcome to ProjexCellence ProDigy, my YouTube channel, focused on continuous learning and growth in the field of project management. I am Govind, a PMP certified project manager with more than 15 years of experience managing power plant projects. In today's episode, we'll delve into the concepts of product life cycle and project life cycle. We will discuss each term in detail with real life examples. We will see how these two terms can be related with each other, what are the similarities and what are the differences. The product life cycle PLC can be understood by comparing it to human life stages from birth to old age, as infancy, birth to 2 years, childhood 2 to 12 years, adolescence 12 to 18 years, adulthood, the early adulthood, mid adulthood, and late adulthood, and old age 80 plus years. In similar way, the project life cycle can be compared to the various major tasks or projects a person undertakes at different stages of life, such as schooling, pursuing higher education, starting a new job, getting married, or launching his own business. Let's understand the PLC in detail. The product life cycle is the time span during which a product passes through various stages from inception to decline. These stages typically include development, introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. Before we go in detail theory part, let's understand PLC representation with this graph. The x-axis is showing all 5 stages from development to decline, and the y-axis is showing the sales figure. The first stage is development stage. The curve we can see it's a flat from here to this point. Because the product is not yet in market, so obviously there is no sales. The second stage from here up to this point is introduction phase. Curve is slowly rising, means slow sales as product is new and customers slowly adopting the product. The third stage is the growth from here up to here. Here we can see the steep rise in curve. Sales is very high and profit rise significantly. Next is the maturity stage from this point up to here. We can see the plateau and gentle rise in curve. There is no more steep rise now. So in this stage, market becomes saturated. Next is decline. So from here up to this point. Here curve is steep or gradually declining as sales decreases, and at the end product is out of the market. So this is the simple representation of PLC. Development phase. This is the pre-market stage where a product is conceived, designed and tested. During this stage, the product concept is developed into a tangible product. This involves extensive R&D and prototyping. For an example, developing a new mobile phone model, it will involve designing the hardware and software components, conducting the market research, and creating the prototypes. In this stage, there is a high development cost because of expenses in R&D, prototyping, and initial testing. The cash flow will be the negative as investment is made in these all activities without generating any revenue. Next stage is the introduction stage. In this stage, the product is launched and made available to the consumers. And the main focus of the business is on building the market awareness towards the product. The business again faces the high cost because it invests money on the promotion, advertising, and distribution of product, and the sale is low, so the cash flow remains negative. Growth: in this stage, the product gains market acceptance and sales increases rapidly. The mobile phone gains popularity among consumers and sales increases. The focus is on expanding the market share and high production so as to cater the growing demand. Manufacturing cost decreases due to the economies of scales as production volumes increase. Due to the high sales and comparatively less cost, cash flow turns to the positive. Competition increases because other players enter the market. Next stage is maturity. Sales peak as the product reaches its maximum market penetration. The mobile phone maintains a stable market share. Manufacturing costs are optimized, but business spend money on marketing and promotional activities to maintain the market share. Cash flow is positive due to the high sales, but sales growth slows down. The competition intensifies and companies focus on product differentiation and customer loyalty. Last stage is the decline stage. Sales begin to decrease as the product loses market relevance due to new innovations, changing consumer preferences, or increased competition. Mobile phone of new model with advanced features enter into the market. Cash flow become negative as sales revenue declines and related cost increased. Finally, the companies have to take a call whether to maintain the product for their loyal customers or completely phase it out. Next topic is project life cycle. The project life cycle is a series of phases that a project goes through from beginning to end. These phases help in managing the project and include important goals and deliverables. The naming of the phases and how many phases will be in one project and the duration of each phase can vary based on the needs of the organization, the type of project, the methodology we are using, predictive, agile, or hybrid, and the complexity of the product itself. In each phase, there are specific activities that help complete the deliverables and finish that phase of the project. Project management process groups: initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closure. These are not the project phases. Very often, there is a confusion between project phases and project process groups because both concepts involve stages of progression within a project. But the purpose for both is totally different. The purpose of project phases is to break down the project into manageable segments, each phase with its own specific objectives, deliverables, and milestones. Like for a construction project, phases might include concept, design, construction, finishing, and handing over. Whereas the process group are the categories of activities that are applied throughout the project, regardless of any specific phase. The purpose is to ensure a structured approach to project management by consistently applying best practices and processes. Process groups are iterative and repeat in each phase, especially in large and complex projects. For an example, taking same construction project example, like we just now we talk about the concept phase, design phase, construction phase. So in concept phase itself, there will be initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, closure, like define the high level project requirement, and then in the concept phase you can do planning, develop a preliminary project plan and feasibility study, and then execution, the conduct initial site surveys, and monitoring and controlling the review of the survey results, and adjust plan if needed, and finally the closure, the complete the feasibility study, and approve project to move forward. So in concept phase itself, all the process group will be there. Similar to the, if when we go to the next phase, the design phase, again there can be initiation, planning, execution, monitoring and controlling, and closure. Like for the design phase, under initiation, confirm the design objectives and scope, and for planning, the create detailed design plans, and in execution, to develop the architectural and all the engineering designs, monitoring and controlling, to review and refine the designs, and the manage design changes, and finally in the closure, finalize and approve design document. So there shouldn't be any confusion between the project phases and the project process groups. So in each phase there is possibility that all the process group will be followed. Each phase ends with a milestone or a key decision point, which is called a phase gate or toll gate or stage gate. Here, these diamond shaped symbols represent the phase gate. It is a point in the project life cycle where the project's progress is reviewed and a decision is made whether to continue to the next phase, make any kind of adjustments, or terminate the project. Let's understand the project phases and project life cycle with these two examples. We have one project to install and commission the 50 megawatt solar power plant. The project will be broken down in phases for the ease of managing the project. Here we have total 6 phases: feasibility study and site assessment, project planning and design, financing and procurement, construction and installation, commissioning and testing, finally the handing over and closure. And between each phase, there is a phase gate. So each phase has its own objective and deliverable. So in feasibility study and site assessment, we have the deliverable as feasibility study report, the site assessment report, preliminary project proposal, means high level scope and budget, risk assessment report with mitigation strategy and stakeholder analysis. Then after this, the phase gate, at this phase gate, feasibility and site assessment will be reviewed. It will be ensured that all the major risks are identified and mitigated. And after obtaining the approval from key stakeholders, project will move to the next phase, and that is project planning and design. So in this phase, the detailed project plan, detailed design document, and all three baselines, cost, scope, and time, resource plan, these will be the deliverable of this particular phase. Again, at the phase gate, each deliverable will be assessed. Then project will move to the next phase, financing and procurement. So here in this phase, the financing plan, funding source will be finalized. Other deliverables will be like procurement plan, vendor selection, and contracts and agreements with vendors, and phase gate assessment will be done after the completion of the phase. Then next will be the construction and installation. In this phase, the actual groundwork will be done. As an output, we will have all the installed components as solar panels, inverters, mounting structure, power distribution panels, and other related auxiliary equipment. At the phase gate, the construction progress review, budget review, quality review will be done. Then, in the commissioning and test phase, the commissioning and testing will be carried out. Actual generation output will be measured compared to the designed 50 megawatt capacity, and training sessions will be conducted for operation and maintenance team. At the phase gate, test results will be reviewed. The final budget and schedule will be reviewed to ensure that all is on track. And the final phase is handing over and closing of the project. The deliverable will be handing over the project report, final documentation, final financial report, warranty agreements, and the client training. And the phase gate assessment will be done for the documentation and formal acceptance from client for the project handover and lessons learned for the future projects. Similarly, for this IT project, so there are phases: initiation, planning, design, development, testing, deployment, and finally evaluation and closure. And we can see each phase is passing through the phase gate. So basically, the naming of the phases depends on many factors like project type and industry, and what is the project management methodologies we are using, and what are the project scope and complexity, project objectives and deliverables, and what is the organizational standard and practices. So it depends on many factors how to name the project phases, and how many phases will be in one project, and how long the duration of each phase will be. Next, we will do the comparative analysis of product life cycle and project life cycle. So product life cycle, the main focus is on how the product performs in the market and how customers accept it, while the focus of project life cycle is on completing the specific task and achieving specific goals within a set time period. Product life cycle is continuous and long term. It spans the entire life of a product from the time a product is first thought of until it is no longer sold. While the project life cycle is temporary and short term. Once the project goal are achieved, the product life cycle ends. Product life cycle risk management includes looking at what might affect the product in the market, like new competitors, changing customer preferences, and economic conditions. While the project lifecycle risk management is more focused on project execution. This involves identifying and managing the risks that could affect the project's timeline, budget, or quality. Product lifecycle success is measured by market metrics, which includes the sales numbers, market share, profitability, and customer satisfaction. While the project lifecycle success is measured by the project completion metrics, like the project completed on time, within budget, and meeting all the project goals and quality standards. Product life cycle and project life cycle are interrelated. A product life cycle may consist of multiple project life cycle. Here in this figure, we can clearly see in this product life cycle, in each stages, we can see couple of projects. You see in under development stage, the projects are there in introduction, in growth, maturity, and decline. So each stage of product life cycle may contain one, two, or multiple projects. A needs assessment is done during the product life cycle to ensure new projects are strategically aligned and worth of the investment. Okay, before we wrap up this session, let's review what we have covered. We delved into the concept of the product life cycle and the project life cycle using an analogy with human life to enhance our understanding. We explored the PLC in detail, examining its 5 stages. We also learned about the project life cycle, its phases, and phase gates. Additionally, we clarified the distinction between project phases and project process groups. Finally, we conducted a comparative analysis of the product and project life cycles, discussing their relationship. That's all for now. I hope you have enjoyed the content and the delivery. Let's take a short break and I'll return soon with more project management material. Before we part ways, I'd like to ask you to kindly show your support by liking and subscribing to my channel. Your engagement means a lot to me. Namaste, goodbye, Sampai Jumpa.